We talked of variation in the previous slide. We looked at variation at a very high level. Variation by itself doesn't mean anything. We always talk of variation in the context of something which is a process. Going to office is a process, and whether we are late to office or how much time we took to reach office is what we are interested in the previous example. I'm talking of this here. Let me just go back to the previous slide. I'm talking of these points that we interpreted in the context of going to office. So I have a pretty detailed definition of process here. The first box that you see, that's a definition of a process from businessdictionary.com. And then, since it refers to procedures, it has the definition of a procedure in the next box, and then the definition of a procedure refers to activities, and that is explained or defined in the third box here. So if you look at it, there are a few terms that keep popping out, and if you look at it here, we're talking of inputs, we're talking of outputs, we're talking of a goal or end result, right? So let's not get too engrossed in this one here, and let's go straight to the next slide. So this is a simpler definition of a process. So it's a series of steps where inputs are processed to achieve a desired output. And this is good enough for us to explain just about anything around us, because this gives the definition a purpose, and that's what's important, right? So if you could just jot this down, this definition down. We'll keep coming back to this because I have inputs here, I have output here, I have a sequence of steps here, and then I'm going to introduce a few more entities here. When we go to process mapping, we're going to talk of copies and other interesting stuff. So next, let's talk of processes that are around us. So going to office, that's something that we talked of, that is definitely a process. Would opening a bank account be a process? It is a series of steps, and you have a definite goal. There is an input, there is an output, or more of maybe more than one input, maybe more than one output, but only one output would be of interest to you. So yeah, can you come up with some more examples? Would filling out an application, a job application, be a process? Would serving food be a process? Would invoicing or processing invoices be a process? Would filling out an insurance claim be a process? Would processing an insurance claim be a process? They are processes. They are in fact processes, right? If you put all these that I just mentioned in the context, or try to fit this to the definition that I just mentioned in the previous slide, you'd see they do fit perfectly. So there are lots of processes all around us. We just need to be conscious of those. We just need to think of them as processes, right? So let's move on to the next slide now.